Well, good evening, laddies, lasses, and lassos. Welcome to the click. You smell amazing today. Did you know that mango is 100% vegan? That's right, he's made entirely off of vegans. And the emotional support demon is going to be too. Stay tuned for the upcoming emotional... Am I selling this well? I think I'm selling this well. Welcome to r/ConfidentlyIncorrect. You smell horrible. Ha ha! I was confidently incorrect. You see? That's the joke. So today we're gonna feel smart by debunking very silly things that I found online. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Enjoy. Mwah. And remember to subscribe so you don't miss out on this very educational content. It's basically school, but much worse.
Protein is detrimental to the body, highly acidic, and is a big cause of disease. Protein is unnatural to the body.
What?
You can still gain muscle with fasting. It may take longer, but you can gain and build muscle.
But where would the mass come from, though? Do you just absorb it from the air? You're not putting on weight for your fasting routine, Timmy. Well, you're just a bit impatient, aren't you? I would love to be able to just absorb stuff from the air, though. Imagine how efficient that would be. My God. A blind man is alone on a deserted island. He has 2 blue pills and 2 red pills. He must take exactly 1 red pill and 1 blue pill, or he will die. How does he do it?
He eats all 4. He doesn't say he can't have more of each color, just that he needs to take exactly 1 of each color.
But that's exactly what it means. What? How does this have 300 likes?
Yes, it says they must take exactly 1 red pill and exactly 1 blue pill. Taking 4 assures exactly 1 of each is taken. What is the second one just sarcastic? Is this... I'm losing my mind. What?
Okay, but seriously, how would you solve this? Is this even solvable? I guess maybe he can just like sense the colors by rubbing them against each other. How would you solve this? Does anyone know in the comments? Is it even solvable, or is it only made to bait out comments like this? I hope it just made to bait out comments like this. Thank you so much for the content. What is that smell? It was just... all along. Who would have thunk it? Well, good evening. Oh, hello. I didn't hear you there. I was busy walking around my house listening to the click videos. That's not weird, right? Anyway, that is way easier nowadays because of Raycon Everyday Earbuds. Woo! Raycon's Everyday Earbuds look, feel, and sound better than ever. With optimized gel tips with the perfect in-ear fit, these earbuds are so comfortable and they will not budge. Trust me. They offer 8 hours of playtime and a 32-hour battery life. Raycons are priced just right. You get quality audio at half the price of other premium audio brands. It is no wonder Raycon Everyday Earbuds have over 50,000 5-star reviews. Oh my God, I can't even count that high. Raycon Everyday Earbuds now have different sound profile depending on your preference. The earbuds have a very snug in-ear fit and fit like a glove at the inside of your ear. They are sweat and water resistant and even has wireless charging. What are you waiting for? Go to the link in the description or go to buyraycon.com/theclick to get 15% off of your Raycon purchase. Thank you so much, Raycon, for sponsoring memes. And now, back to the memes. Mwah. This guy's brain is 3 squirrels on a meth blender. I wonder if BLM knows Antifa was allied with Hitler. I'm sorry, what? And helped him come to power. What kind of timeline are you on? It feels like that would be a source of tension, given BLM's focus on history. Does Antifa owe reparations to anyone who lost a family member or property to Nazi Germany? I have a master's degree in history, and you have lost your freaking mind. What is this timeline? This is amazing. It's not even a timeline. It's more just the wibbly-wobbly timey-wimey. It's amazing. That would be kind of a good parody movie, though. Just imagine all kind of historical events, but just wrap it up in kind of just an insanity ball of nonsensical stuff. Absolutely beautiful. I think that's a Doctor Who episode, isn't it? When everything's just scrambled in the whole history. I think it's already existing, but not like this. If wireless PCs existed, we could literally take them anywhere and use them to be even more productive than having to plug it into a socket all the time. You mean a laptop? I think I said PC very clearly. This is why I can't argue with people online. They're so silly. I do love it though, when you feel very smart, that you have invented something for the first time, but it's something that already exists, like, everywhere. I swear this is gonna be like in a few years when everything is electric cars and be like, are you sick of recharging your car? We have just invented a gasoline car. It's like, oh. It is true. The 1/3 pounder burger failed in America because they thought quarter pounders were bigger.
Yeah, because they are.
1/3 is larger than 1/4. 0.33 is larger than 0.25.
What are those signs?
Ah, yes, my hope in humanity and Twitter summed up so beautifully in one picture. And that hope is basically that if we are silly enough, maybe the AIs will just take over faster and can guide us in our little cradle towards just being little silly people that we are. Yes, indeed.
Ukraine belongs to Russia, Taiwan belongs to China, Kosovo belongs to Serbia, Rova belongs to Syria, South Korea belongs to North Korea. If you disagree with any of these, then you're a supporter of imperialism and fascism.
Very nice there. If you don't agree with this, you are a little meanie. See how convenient my argument is? Nobody can argue against this, except the fact that it's like very silly and it comes from Twitter, so it's questionable in the first place, but you know, woohoo! r/Confidently Incorrect. This guy thinks pickles are pickled cucumbers. Humanity. Please. Daily Wire host says it's unscientific to cast a black person as a mermaid. From a scientific perspective, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have someone with darker skin who lives deep in the ocean. You really want to do this? Okay, so I'm not super interested in Disney remakes, right? It doesn't really tingle my excitement fancy when it comes to movie releases, gonna be honest. But if you want to go like skin color and the scientific route, okay, let's be honest here. If mermaids were scientific, they would look like Avatar-looking characters that are way more slimy and probably has eyes that are this big because they live in the ocean where it's really dark. They wouldn't look like people, period. Why do you care so much? Blows my mind. Like, you want to make it scientific, but you stop at, it would probably be a bit more pale because it's underwater. What about the big slimy eyes? Huh? Fish eyes. What about that? I wish I had an accent. I wouldn't stop talking it all day. But you do have an accent, an American accent. I don't know which specific one, but everyone has an accent. Thanks, but I don't have an accent. I'm from the Midwest. We don't speak with accents here. Blorp is right. Americans spoke a non-accented version of English in the 1700s. I believe British people spoke the same English, but then decided to change it in the 1800s and develop an accent over time. So now Americans speak a more neutral form of English, which is why we don't have accents. Hope that clears it up. Yes, those silly Brits, they just developed an accent so they could sound all fancy while they drink their tea and biscuits. But isn't that for everyone though? Like, most people will think that where they grew up is the neutral accent. Like, some accents are obviously more extreme than others if you look at it from, another perspective of someone who doesn't come from neither of the places. But everyone has an accent. It can be like more extreme, I suppose, to some extent, but I don't think there is such a thing as a neutral thing. That doesn't really exist. I know why you clicked on this video. You want to learn how to make money fast, right? Do you want to know how to become a millionaire in a year? Oh my god, I found this TikTok. Let's do it together. Cut 10 lawns in a day, 4 days a week at $30. That's $1,200 per week. And that's 1.2 million per year? What? That was the secret? Just cut lawns. Ignoring the mathematical errors here and the multiple zeros that are missing to this equation, don't you think everyone would just, cut the crap out of every single lawn out there if you could literally make $1.2 million in a year cutting lawns? That logic alone should be enough to just say, maybe something is off about this calculation. Maybe something is astray. Top reviews from other countries. 1 star.
Missing letter. I am absolutely gutted. I've just sat and blown up all the letters to find that the D is missing, but been replaced with an extra A. It's my daughter's birthday tomorrow, and now I won't be able to decorate it as planned. Not happy at all.
Had a birthday. But everything is in caps lock. Why was the conclusion that the D was a backwards, like slightly wonky small A, and the other A is just left over? It's forced in there so hard before like just trying to flip it. Oh no, that's so sad. They really need some D in their life. Wow, that was low-hanging fruit, but I'm kind of proud of myself anyway.
Hey Blorp, a flu shot paralyzed my cousin 12 years.
What? Do you mean they were 12-year-old or they were paralyzed for 12 years?
Hey Blorp, a child vaccine made my boy autistic. Hey Blorp, the COVID jab killed my uncle, my buddy's dad blinded my mom, gave my daughter heart issues, and gave 2 friends cancer. Shall I go on? I have a life.
Actual doctor who specializes in autism here. Vaccines do not, have not, will not cause autism. Stop spreading misinformation. It's unethical and insulting to the ASD community and those of us who work with them. This is still going around? Oh, that's so sad. And also, it just sounds like, random vaccines just killed half the people in your life. Blinded and cancer, it's getting a little far-fetched, isn't it? Now it's no longer just quoting like a false study from like the 80s that was ranting about autism and vaccines that has been debunked multiple times. Now it's like just randomly, randomly doing everything that's bad. Like every ailment you can imagine is just vaccines. All right. The Guardian. Me and my vulva. 100 women reveals all.
The correct word is vagina.
I am a biomalologist.
If governments can just print money, why are we paying taxes?
1. Because without taxes, governments would quickly lose power over their citizens. Taxes can only be paid in the local currency, thus it forces you to transact in the coin of the realm. Coin of the realm. It sounds like we're playing D&D. Without taxes, people could interact and transact in any way possible. What? So it is not ... Okay, well, first of all, no, it's probably just to reduce mass inflation. You could technically just like, hey, we're not going to take any taxes, we're just going to print more money, which is essentially going to do the same thing, just that it's going to skyrocket inflation instead. So if you were to print money, the government, instead of taking taxes, what would happen is that the value is still going to be the same, you're just going to have more money printed. So you're still technically taking value from all the citizens by printing the money. So instead it's just going to escalate inflation and all your savings accounts and everything is just going to become increasingly worthless. So no, this whole thread is just all over the place. I don't know. Like the money represents something, right? That's the only reason people think it's valuable. The same stuff that happens with the garbage NFT trends recently. It was only valuable for people because other people thought it was valuable. And then all of a sudden the bubble burst and all of a sudden it's not worth anything anymore because people as a collective came to the realization that, oh, this isn't actually worth anything. The same thing would happen with just regular currency as well if you just kept printing. Inflation is a thing. Fun fact, we are animals. Fun fact, we actually aren't animals. We are mammals. Most animals are mammals too. We may be similar, but no. Please stop being a brickhead and think before you comment. Wait, so we're mammals, but not animals, but some mammals are both. What is a mammal that isn't an animal? Like, I just see a very complex Venn diagram just crossing over stuff. This gives a very intriguing follow-up questions. Let's see now. Patient, doctors, hospital, FDA, CDC, AMA, Big Pharma, globalists. Yes, this is exactly how it works and why even most of the formerly respected healthcare workers are liars and frauds. What? Is this an anti-vax talking point? Is that what this is? I don't even know exactly what it's arguing against, but most people I know that are doctors are just like everyday working people. It's not a conspiracy. You can criticize certain parts of the system that go astray. That goes for most, walks of life, but that's a little bit far-fetched. Nope, cause it's not a German brand. BMW is a German-owned company. Nope, it's European. Europe is my favorite country. Imagine having an electric car in Florida right now. Imagine your first floor becoming part of the Atlantic Ocean. Wrong coast. Florida is located in the Atlantic. Gulf of blank. Wow, you must be a college educated. Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf of Mexico is an ocean basin and a marginal sea of the Atlantic Ocean. No one refers to the Gulf of Mexico as the Atlantic Ocean. It was being stupid. Don't try to cover for it. But it's literally the page though, that like define the what? And also, why are people even bothering arguing and stuff like this? One thing I learned as I got older is that arguments like this just doesn't matter. Even if you technically win, they still stole some of your day. It's not worth it, and they're not going to change your mind. Nothing positive is going to come from it. Just abandon Twitter, become one with nature, plant your feet, and become a tree. It's so much better. Imagine claiming someone else is being stupid while simultaneously demeaning higher education in general. I also don't see why that's relevant, to be honest, unless you're literally like a degree in geographics or something. It's like, oh, you can't be a real doctor because you didn't know the Gulf of Mexico. What? Tech workers deserve their high pay and much more. First off, $400,000 a year is not an astronomical compensation. In 2022, that is firmly middle class. I mean, I suppose if you take the calculation of that TikToker who was mowing lawns for $1.2 million a year, I suppose, yeah, lower middle class in a lot of places. Yeah, you see, they're not even making as much as people who cut lawns. It's outrageous. God, freaking you make 400k a year, you poor Aramus. What are you, broke? You should try cutting lawns. Silly.
Hating on astrology is honestly rooted in misogyny, but I'm too tired to elaborate.
I have seen this go around a surprising amount lately. You know what? I decided to go down the little argumentative rabbit hole on this. Ignore what I said before about not arguing online. I am a hypocrite and I own it. Let's dig into this, shall we? Because I am entertained. 16 times astrology Twitter absolutely ended straight men. You see, now it's also about a men issue.
Dudes who angrily tell women astrology isn't real are still hurting from finding out magnetic bracelets don't make you better at sports.
What's it? That's... That's the gotcha. What about it's both just dumb? It's too silly, ridiculous. Why are you trying to make this like a gender war? Oh my god.
I think we can all agree the worst zodiac sign is men. I think we all can agree the worst zodiac sign is men. I think we all can agree the worst... BuzzFeed, thank you. Very, very, very smart. Did you just try to defend astrology by making it like a gendered issue? What?
And magnetic bracelets, get out of here. You want to have some fun. You want to have some statistical fun. Welcome to Click Academy. You think not liking astrology is misogyny because it's something that men don't like. You want to know a zinger fact of the day? The majority of women don't believe in it either. Is it what's it now? What's Is it misandrous now because the majority of women don't believe it? I mean, it's still an alarmingly high statistic if this is accurate, like, oh dear. But still, it's not a majority. What is this argument? It's just made up. You just picked one of the sides and be like, look, the majority of men don't like it. That must mean it must be correct or something like that. But the majority of women don't believe it either. What is this conclusion? I mean, messing around with the star signs or fortune cookies or any of that kind of stuff, you know, it's fun. It can be casual, fun stuff. You know, I have a couple of souvenirs with star and signs on them. It's cutesy stuff. But when you come with me and say like, oh, we're not compatible in the dating sphere. I mean, the fact that you would use it as an argument, it probably means that we aren't compatible in the dating sphere. But still, you know, it's it's not a magical personality trait. It really isn't.
Pretty bigoted how they're still maintaining the male and female toilets on the plane. I want to see the shite show of a gender-neutral bathroom unfold on 30,000 feet.
Virgin Atlantic lets male pilots and crew wear skirts to express their true identity. You know, honestly, I totally see why they would rock a skirt. That looks absolutely astounding. But also, gender-neutral bathrooms on an airplane, that's like, has been the standard at least for as long as I remember. Ukraine definitely not in Europe, lol. How did you manage to reach that conclusion? Is Ukraine part of the EU? No. Is Ukraine geographically part of Europe? No. Is Ukraine populated by European people? No. Is Ukraine a contributor to European culture, e.g. literature? No. I would love to see the provided sources for these statements. That would be very, very... very entertaining to see. Stephen King. A priest, a minister, and a rabbit walks into a bar. The rabbit says, I think I'm a typo. It's spelled Rabbi, Steve. This is really embarrassing from you as an author. Think of this as the joke, and this is your brain. Whoosh! You see what happened? It missed the brain. If the voting age should be 25, so too should the age of adulthood and all that comes with it. That would include smoking, drinking, sex, no longer being under the charge of your parents, firearm purchases, tattoos, and military enlistment. Smoking and drinking should both be banned, since they endanger too many people's lives. As for the naughties, I'm assuming you mean the marriage age, as naughties outside marriage is wrong. The marriage age should be 12. 12. This is not where I thought this was. That's what you went with? It's like, oh, outside of marriage is a sin. But this is where this argument was headed. Oh, dear God. And this is because it would be ridiculous turning the age to have babies into 25. Yes, because everyone knows that 12-year-olds are the most suitable for, oh my God. At 25, a woman is nearly unable to have children at this time period. Raising the marriage is going to cause an extinction of humanity. If you can become pregnant, you should be pregnant to help us not go extinct. What are you talking about? Military enlistment I already talked about in my post, and the rest I don't have enough knowledge to comment about this. I don't think you have enough knowledge to comment about, like, the age of marriage. You basically said people are infertile by by 25 and then said the best age to marry to do the naughties is 12. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you're not like a licensed biomalologist. Oh, dear God. If you don't get married at 12, you're responsible for the extinction of humanity. Man, that was a really long runabout argument for basically justifying underage marriage. That's pretty creepy, dude. Cease.
Just a friendly reminder that respiratory viruses can't cause myocarditis, blood clots, or heart failure. Toxic mRNA shots do. I have been asking this question to so many medical experts over the past few months. How can an airborne virus get into the bloodstream? Basic biology would suggest otherwise.
What are you talking? What? There are a lot of things that get into your bloodstream that aren't inserted through your skin. Is that the argument? Is that the argument they're being made? What about food? Like, your body digests food, and it ends up in your bloodstream, you know, blood sugar and all that kind of good stuff. What about oxygen? Well, oxygen is airborne. How does it end up in your bloodstream? Well, maybe, you know, virus can be sucked in with the airflow, same as oxygen, and it gets into your body. It's strange. The body is a whole integrated system, you know, that's kind of how it works. Why is this argument only being applied to this, but nothing else that operates in this exact same way? Very strange. Watching people try to pronounce Irish names is always amusing to me. Oh yeah, it's like with Jacksepticeye. What is it? McLaughlin or something. I probably botched that. I'm so sorry I called you Clough. Ireland and French use English letter in their words and then completely change how they're supposed to be pronounced lol. They are the closest to a coded language you'll ever find in Europe, haha. I mean, yeah, I suppose that's true for pretty much any language. Not sure it's coded. It's like, if you spell out the alphabet, it would be like A. You know, for A in English. In Swedish, it would be A. Same letter. Sounds weirdly different, you know? I don't think it's an undercover code. Ah, the Latin Roman alphabet. How very English.
The ancient Romans stole that from England.
Looking at the British Museum, I get the impression that it wasn't the Romans who did the stealing. No, not if you follow the timeline we've already established in this video. Oh, yes, indeed. Wound and scar are synonyms. Not even slightly. Go read a frickin' thesaurus. r/ConfidentlyIncorrect. Hey, Oxford Languages. Wound, an injury to living tissue caused by a cut, blow, or other impact, typically one which skin is cut or broken. Scar, a mark left on the skin with bodily tissue where a wound, burn, or sore has not healed completely and fibrous connective tissues has developed. It is the same.
Is it pronounced nuclear or nuclear? Both. Nuclear power refers to power that's clear of uranium. Nuclear power has U because there is still uranium in it.
Who made this into a cutesy infograph? Like, someone spent time on this. Someone spent time and budget on this cutesy infograph. Okay, Google time. Okay, Google search, here's the top hit from Wikipedia. Nuclear is a common prescribed against pronunciation of the word nuclear. It is a rough phonetic spelling of nuclear. The Oxford English Dictionary entry dates the world's first published appearance to 1943. Alright, so I don't think this infographic is right in the least. Just gonna put it out there. This is why humanity is going in the direction it is, I swear to God.
Shite like this is why we have a world full of dumbasses.
There is nothing wrong with challenging the mainstream logic, but this is one of those examples where challenging the mainstream logic is done wrong. Mathna Rice or Randy or something, whoever was the nuclear philosopher who invented gravity. Glorious. Yeah, I think that's a common misconception throughout a lot of these videos when it comes to like facepalm moments or confidently incorrect. There is nothing wrong about being critical or, you know, thinking for yourself or not just believing everything at face value. That is perfectly fine. But there comes a point where, you know, it's just opposing things as conspiracy theories or nitpicking individual small odd things. Or it takes very small facts completely out of context. You see this a lot with Flat Earth, for example, where you nitpick individual things and try to make it seem like, oh, you know, this picture from space, it's actually flat, it was just a fish lens thing, you know, so it looks round, but then you ignore that there isn't an entire physical, basically, model for the Earth or anything would function. Like, how do you explain gravity even if Earth is flat? My favorite theory is that the Earth just keeps accelerating upwards, so we're all pushed into the ground, so we just have a disk that keeps just faster and faster and faster. Absolutely glorious model. I think that was also the case in, like, the mask debate, where one of the arguments for, like, oh, masks don't do anything against viruses because that a virus in itself is smaller than one of the gaps in a typical mask mask or textile, but completely, of course, ignoring the fact that most viruses spread through moisture and drops of water, which are much bigger than the virus itself. So it's like a lot of these nitpicky things where there's small facts that on surface level, it's like, okay, it looks like it has a point, but it completely ignores how things actually work in practice. And that's just one example of it, but a lot of pseudoscience have similar conclusions. You find this all over the internet. It's absolutely astounding.
Humans are mammals, not animals. Please revisit elementary school.
Oh, again? What is... Is this just a trend now? Humans are animals? No, wait, humans are mammals that aren't animals. What does that even mean? What?
The end of World War II, May 7th, 1945. The Hiroshima event, August 8th of 1945. Ah, I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to make it seem like Hiroshima was just nuked for no reason, where everything was over. You have the dates a bit mixed up, though, to be fair. May the 7th, I believe, was the date when Nazi Germany surrendered. August the 8th was when the nuke was dropped. And let me see. Atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, August the 6th, actually. Okay, so that wasn't even correct. And end of World War II date Japan, August 14th, Japan surrendered. I'm not sure where the 8th come from. That's a little odd. And May the 7th is when Nazi Germany surrendered. So there we go. It's just a mix-up of dates, but it does suggest a very interesting motivation and timeline. Not justifying any horrific historical acts, but, it's at least you can get the numbers right. r/ConfidentlyIncorrect. Water. I mean, it is, but it's probably not an explanation to whatever is about to follow. I mean, it's science. Ancient wisdom found within... Yuck! Why you so quiet? What's on your mind? If water expands, then freezes, then when ice melts, its volume decreases. The majority of the icebergs are underwater, so if they melt due to climate change, they want to see levels fall, not rise. Well, I'm not seeing why they would fall. That's very odd. But also, yes, if it's an isolated example of a floating iceberg, then it's gonna stay level because the iceberg pushes away as much water as it takes up. So even though the iceberg has higher density, some of it is gonna float because it's lighter, but it still pushes away the same amount of mass. So the level is gonna be consistent. You can do this yourself with just a couple of ice cubes and a glass of water. But in reality, there's a lot of ice that is resting on landmass that isn't floating and isn't pushing away any ocean water at this time. So if it melts, it will only increase the level of the ocean. That's like holding a piece of ice over the glass of water and watching it drip into the water, and of course the water is going to rise. That's a more accurate example, I suppose. So, it's still exactly the kind of example I brought up before. Like, yeah, in an isolated example, it does make sense. Ice pushes away as much as it's going to melt into water, but in reality, there is more to it. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear sex ed? Number 1, sexual techniques or positions, or number 2, name one sexual organs, menstruation, and consent. If number 1 and not number 2 is the first thing that comes to your mind, then you're one with a problem, not the schools.
That's what they want you to think. When I was in school, homeschooled, but that is not that is not actual school. Not in that way, at least. I was taught that the way they teach sex ed in the public schools is more like number 1.
What do you mean I was taught? You didn't actually go there. Just someone told you that's what it was.
Kids don't need to know about naughty positions. That's really thick. If you can't see that, maybe you're the one with the problems.
But you just made this up. I wasn't there, but I heard through someone who also wasn't there that this is the case. No.
Nah. You've heard of astrologists, right? Astrophysicist? It's a science. Whether people believe in the stars affect them is a different story, but astrology is literally a science.
Yeah, you can just Google that. I think it very much explicitly says that it's very much a pseudoscience. It's not acknowledged as an actual science. What I find is so strange about it as well is that you could use very simple, for example, statistical analysis. You could literally do this yourself as just a student project in school, and you would come to the conclusion that it has pretty much no effect whatsoever. I think there might be some slight statistical effect on when you're born, time of year, that kind of stuff. Maybe, I don't remember, but to claim that star signs have this kind of impact on people's lives and what's going to happen, and what's going to happen in your day, or seeing the future, or perfect personality traits, it's not really a thing. It really isn't. Emma Watson's Zelda, a Netflix series, The Legend of Zelda.
I know she's from a game, I don't play video games, and I have no issues about representation, but making Zelda a girl is a bit much. They are overreaching.
The wokeness, oh my god. First, you make a mermaid into a humanoid instead of a fishy thing, a discourse. And now you make Princess Zelda into a girl? Oh, they have truly gone too far. Just wait till they realize the green M&M is technically trans. It's realize. Sorry, seen that one too much. Okay, I am Australian. I am Canadian, and it's realize. Brit here, it's only spelled with a Z in America. Oh no. Wait until they reach like the color debate of the U's and stuff. Oh yes, indeed, the nukes are about to drop. As someone who has autism, no, they do not. Vaccines can change your genes. Yes, well, as someone who has researched this because I have experienced it firsthand, there is not a single thing you can say to make me change what has happened in my life. Go float a beer somewhere else. Vaccines do not have the ability to change genes, period. It's mad insensitive towards us autistic people that y'all even freaking suggest that. What do you mean you've done your research, experienced firsthand? Did you, what? What do you actually mean? I would love to see the sources on this. That'll be fascinating. Women don't have hair anywhere on their body but their head, you frick. I would know, because I have layeth many the whammons. Cucumber and cream cheese is nice if you are vegan. Is cheese not a no-go for vegans? I said cream cheese, not cheese. Wait, but cream though? What about the cream? Oh no. Water 1 mile. Water 1 kilometer. Americans. Oh. A mile is shorter than a kilometer. Yes, I googled it because when I drive it's in freedom units. Miles to kilometer 1.6. But is this satire? I mean, I love the term freedom units. It's absolutely amazing. Bald eagle burgers per mileometer. Absolutely gorgeous. I love that.
Beware! Young and old, people in all walks of life, this, whatever that is, may be handed you... What? By the friendly stranger. It contains the killer drug marijuana. Okay. A powerful narcotic in which lurks murder, insanity, death, warning. Dope peddlers are shrewd. They may put some of this drug in your tea, or in the...
What does that say? What is that little blurb?
Or in the tobacco cigarette. Oh my god, imagine if they infested your tobacco cigarette with something harmful.
Oh no.
Address the Interstate Narcotic Association.
Damn, that's, this reads like, you know, one of those 50s poster that's just like, your kids are playing board games, it might be a satanic cult. Have you thought about that? Well, now you are.
The baby is not a part of the body of a woman. The umbilical cord and placenta do not directly connect to the woman.
What?
The baby floats around inside the woman. It's not about the woman's body. It's to kill and remove the baby's body. It is done in greater proportion to black babies.
Sometimes I wonder why Twitter exists. Moving on.
So this morning, I set out for a solo predator hunt for a fall black bear. However, I got the opportunity to take another predator wolf pup. 2022 was a great feeling to text my man and say I just smoked a wolf pup. Hashtag first wolf. Look at those pictures and it's...
I don't think that's a... Did you just shoot your neighbor's dog? That doesn't look like a wolf to me. You just shot someone's dog. What? Oh my god. No. This is so bad.
Females retain male species for 27 years. This is why we recommend virgins. They retain male ejaculate for life. I think scientists have confirmed this and some beginning know about it.
Scientists have confirmed this. You sound like one of those clickbaity news articles, just like, scientists speculate that blah blah blah. And just like, scientist is just, you know, some random guy made it up on Twitter. It's as soon as you mention scientists, people just are more likely to believe it, I suppose, but I don't think this is the case, man. Webb turns its eye close to home by capturing its first image of Neptune, revealing the ice giant's planet a whole new light. This is the clearest view of this peculiar planet's rings in more than 30 years. Read more!
Anyone else feel like they're overhyped about this telescope? I am sure if we sent an iPhone 14 into space, we can take better photos than this.
Ah yes, you know, when you use your iPhone 14 to take those amazing pictures of the moon that look like a small white pixel. Those ones. POV, you're European in the US attempting to walk.
Yeah, America's a bigger country than Europe.
Got him.
Oh.
Hi there. We're following up on your recent interaction with a brief 3-question survey. Reply stop to opt out. On a scale of 1, very dissatisfied, to 5, very satisfied, how satisfied are you with included health? 1. You are not currently taking a survey. Oh gee, thank you. Wow, so just like, oh my god, if you give us a bad rating, it's not actually a survey. Haha, JK, gotcha. It's a very good way of like padding the stats for your boss though, when you come back and like, look boss, they're all 5s, cause we ignored the ones.
That doesn't make
Talking
sense.
about a worldwide flood with a
You don't believe the
Christian.
world flooded?
Correct. Where did the
Not
water
how that
go?
works. Where'd the water go?
The actual water, it rained.
Okay.
It's departed.
Okay, so it floods the earth. So hold on. The entire earth is covered in water. There's nowhere for the water to go because it's entirely flooded.
I think I know where this is going.
Where does the water go?
Can I tell you what the sun does?
Sure. Go ahead and tell me. This will be good.
You know, water. It does something called evaporates.
And where does it evaporate to?
Oh no.
Okay, where does water usually evaporate to?
The
air.
And then where?
I don't know my fucking science. I just know it evaporates.
Evaporation,
Oh.
transpiration,
Yeah.
condensation, and precipitation.
Oh, I'm glad we put this
Clouds.
together.
It goes to clouds and it rains back down. It doesn't leave the goddamn planet. It doesn't evaporate to the moon.
That would be pretty cool, though.
What are you talking about?
Well, I don't fucking know. Man, look, I'm just
There
telling
is
you
no
what
worldwide flood. There's nowhere where the
Yes,
water
there
could
fucking was.
How? Then where's the water? Why isn't there water today?
Why isn't there water today?
Yeah.
Sir,
Where did it go?
Sir, we have lakes.
Okay.
There's
Those would have been
Aw.
full. Those would have been full already because the entire world's flooded. It can't go into a lake if it's already flooded.
Oh dear.
Shit, I didn't say it's going into a lake. I'm
So-
just saying, you said there's no water.
There's not enough
just
water
said-
to flood the planet. The entire planet,
Okay,
and
the
according
planet
to the
was
story,
flooded about 4,000 years ago.
What I'm saying
I don't
is
think the question is being
into an
processed,
ocean.
really.
So where does the water go? Think about that. That disproves Christianity. Thank you for trying. Next.
I mean, yes, if the Earth is considered an isolated system and the water isn't, transformed some way into other stuff, then yes, of course, it has to be a constant amount, whether it's evaporated or in the ocean. So, if it was flooded, it would either be a crap load of clouds constantly to keep the world unflooded, or it would still be flooded. I'm surprised the argument wasn't just made that, God made more water appear for the flood and then it went away and he just took it back. I'm surprised that wasn't just an argument, because that would kind of explain it. Not with science, of course, but it would give like a magical explanation at least. So, but yes, if the Earth is an isolated system, then indeed it would still be flooded, or maybe a crap load of clouds. Thank you so much for watching today's video, you beautiful, beautiful beings. I do hope you had an amazing time, because I have an amazing time having you here. And have a great rest of your time, and I will see you again in the very near future. Take care. Mwah. That was a good kiss. Heck yes.